We are here, everybody.
Woo!
First, we couldn't hear Renee, and now we've got some other issues, but we're sorry to keep you waiting. It's just one of those
Am I
old
still
things.
echoey? Yes, I.
Okay, Renee's going to put on her headset because she was echoing. And anyway, I can start and say welcome to Renee, and thank you for wanting to riff with Keith and I this morning. We were so excited, and we're happy to have you here. And
Can everybody hear us, by the way?
I think so.
Well, my ears are not working, I guess.
Of course.
Hey, Renee,
Yes.
where's the cat?
She's got 5 cats.
Yeah, there's 5 of them. I wouldn't be surprised if a few of them didn't pop up. They're all hovering
That's
around
okay.
on the
That's
other
okay.
side.
Oh, thanks,
I
Marvita.
think I'm still echoing.
You probably will.
Okay,
We've
well,
tried everything on this side, so
it
I'm
is what it
sorry.
is. We'll rock and roll
It
with
is
it.
what it is. Someday we'll get somebody in here that can help us not be so
Yeah,
technologically challenged.
I gotta collect me some more tech people for our project.
That's what you need to do. Yes,
That's
absolutely.
right.
So yes,
Okay, I think I can see everybody now. There's
I think we can.
Marvita.
Yeah, it's
Wonderful.
Marvita,
Okay,
and earlier this morning
and
we
there's
saw
Sharon.
Sharon. She came back. So thank you, Sharon. It's nice to see you too. Um, yeah, we're really glad to have you. How are things in Tennessee?
I was just going
Have
to
you
ask
got
you.
I've got
what?
about 6 inches of snow in the yard.
Oh dear. Oh, I'm
So,
sorry. So you're not
well,
going
I don't have
anywhere.
anywhere to be.
Well, we sent out all that love and light, and actually, Susan, um, the psychic medium, Susan Lynn, she just wrote me this morning and said she was out of power for 2 days or 3 days, and
Oh,
she's
goodness.
finally back
Yeah.
up. So there's a lot of mess going there, and Ted Cruz is on his way to Cancun, so he doesn't
Oh,
really
I
care.
just read that a little while ago.
He's coming back? Oh, okay. Whatever it was, he was there during the worst of it anyway, I guess. So,
Hmm. Lucky
absolutely.
him.
Lucky him. Yeah. So,
so what's going on between your ears?
Oh,
what's
that's a
going on with the
loaded
website?
question now, Keith.
It is.
um, did you say the website? I'm working on. I've got it all mapped out, and I'm doing the design and building work right now. So
Oh,
hopefully by the
awesome.
end of the month, I'll have it ready to publish and launch, and I'll be
Good.
back around to talk to everybody about it again. But
Oh, good.
um,
Okay.
just to give our lovely viewers and my fellow chatters a an idea of what I'm doing is basically creating a virtual community center or a hub or a commune, whatever word works best for you, but a
Sure.
place where everybody can come together and find each other. You know, whether it's um,
Yeah.
finding a particular reader to have read for them, or find a particular reader that they can learn from, or um, sort of our own version of buy local, so that those folks who do Etsy stuff, or
Yeah.
whatever our particular talents are, I want to be able to make sure that we can connect with one another within this community, to support each other, and to learn from each other, and to tell our stories to each other, because I think that's how we learn from each other.
It definitely
And it
is.
is a little bit selfish because I've never really had much in the way of family. I have one cousin that I officially know about,
Okay.
but she's like 10 years younger than I am, and I've seen her all of 3 times in my life when we were kids. So I
Mhm.
don't have family per se. So now that this community's come about, it does very much feel like our soul family is coming together, our
Oh yeah.
soul tribe. And so that I want to make sure I have a place where we can all come and hang out together.
I love that so much. That's wonderful. And you had mentioned at some point you said to me that you and Keith are the spiritual storytellers. And so this morning something came up, and I've got an idea. So I'm just going to leave it at that and let you know that I'm working
Okay,
on something. Yeah, but
wonderful.
I can see your aura today. That doesn't happen to me
Okay,
very often. But
well, you
because you're
sure it's
against
not
the
my lamp?
no, it's way around your head. Nope, I see that. But I see a lot of blues and purples. So that's good. That's very
Blues and
spiritual.
purples are good.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Yeah. So I want you to talk to us a little bit about patience. I want you to talk about how you're feeling about that. Do you feel like we're all being tried, or you're being tried, or what what is it about
Well,
patience?
I stumbled across something a few weeks ago, and I've been chewing on it ever since because to me it sort of puts everything in perspective.
Okay.
Um, I I'm just a patient person. I don't know if it's because of the fact that I had to be and how I grew up, or if it's just my nature. But I'm just incredibly patient, and I just things waiting doesn't bother me, especially when I know that there's an outcome or a goal at the end
A
of it.
goal. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and but the thing I stumbled across the other day was somebody said uh, patience is faith.
Uh-huh.
And I thought, well, that's kind of, I feel like a message we need to hear right now because everybody, and I get it, we've been inundated for so long with all this stuff
Right.
that
With
now
fear.
that the pressure's
Yeah.
off, we don't know
Hmm.
what to do with ourselves.
Yep.
And I feel like a lot of people are kind of getting a little twitchy and a little angsty about,
Mm.
well,
Yes.
the justice and the this and the that and the why don't we see it? And well, a lot of it is because, yeah, I know, Sharon, I'm sorry, we tried, I couldn't fix it. But we I've done lost my train of thought now. But
Oh, you use people. We want to see it now. We want what
yeah,
justice.
we've
Yeah.
become
Hmm.
we've become trained in a lot of ways for instant gratification.
Oh,
And that's not how the world works. Not really. Um, and
right.
so yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I would have loved to see that stuff go a different way too. But you have to remember, and as far as I was talking about too, the big picture, uh, we only see a teeny tiny percentage of this.
Right.
There's a reason that those house managers only did one very narrow, specific charge against him,
Yep.
you
I
know?
agree. Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it was as much about getting that to go through as it was about putting a certain 43 people on the record. Because that can then be used for what's coming next. And
Yes.
uh, and
Laying
so
the
so
groundwork.
Yep.
exactly.
Hmm.
And yeah, we'd all love to see all that, and we all know the reality and the truth of it, but knowing something and proving it are two different things. And we have to give, they've been locked out for 4 years. So you got to give these guys a chance to get in there and sort through the piles of garbage that have been left behind for them and figure
That's.
out what the hell is going on.
Hmm.
And
And it
so that
takes
they can
time.
so they can
Yeah.
put together a case just like those house managers did. That was
Hmm.
easy. all these yahoos went on friggin' social media
Oh yeah.
celebrating while it was happening. It's like,
Ding dong.
right. What did you think was going to happen exactly?
Really? Yeah, really.
And so
Well,
yeah,
they
so
were
there's, of
lied to because Trump
course they
said
were.
specifically he was going to go with them.
Right.
Hmm.
And that empowered them to do what they
Hmm.
did because
Well, and the
they
other
thought
thing
they
that,
had everything covered.
and the other thing we have to talk about too is that this wasn't just in that moment. This isn't just about the last 4 years. This has been going on for decades.
Yes.
Decades they've been setting this up.
They've
And
been setting up the fear too, and
mhm,
um, and it's just let's keep everybody in fear all the time. So
mhm.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, I mean they've been I don't like to get into the conspiracy theory stuff because I understand that you can sound Looney Tunes, but I'm
yeah,
not talking about, pizza parlor basements or anything
right,
like that. I'm talking
right,
about stuff that historical stuff that you can go back and connect dots.
correct.
And
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you really look and go back and connect the dots, then
yeah, yep,
this goes back to at
absolutely.
least the 50s that I've put
Oh yeah,
together.
oh yeah.
And probably as far back as the early 1800s when your capitalists uh, got involved. Your J.P. Morgans and your Rockefellers and all those guys. Uh, they
Hmm.
they they figured out early on how to scam the system and well, not scam the system, but build the system to do what they wanted it to do versus for the greater good. So,
Right, right.
and then what is it? I can't remember this. We've had all these conjunctions in astrology. I love it, but I don't really
I know.
understand it.
Yeah, it's very complicated. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but this is what, a 2,000 year cycle plus a 7,000 year cycle or something. So this
Yes.
is not a flip,
It's not
a
new.
switch to be flipped.
Right.
This wasn't going to solve itself, even if he had been convicted by the Senate.
That's
This
right.
wasn't going to solve itself just like that. We have hundreds, thousands of years of gook to
Yes.
untangle.
Right.
And it's going to take a little while.
Can I
But
point out something that
yeah,
may be obvious, but it's actually quite good? In times past, and you're not old enough, girl, so you don't know this, but in times past, whenever the political powers that be wanted to do something, all they had to do was create a fear of the brown people,
Us
fear
versus
of the
them.
black people,
Us versus them.
fear of you name it,
Hmm.
anything. And it was pretty much a given that they would get what they want.
well, that's
Now,
historical. Yeah.
Hmm.
today, that's not working.
Mm-mm. And
If
that's
it
that's
did,
I think that's what
then the
happened with the.
Republicans would have won Georgia.
Hmm. That's
Mhm.
true. Yeah.
Trump would have won the White House.
Mhm.
But
So it's not working.
we all had to rise up. It was very important, and we did. And if we didn't, we would
Well,
have
and
lost again.
that's why they're dug in so hard. They're
Yeah.
all in on this. This was their plan. This was their takeover plan. This
Right.
is they were all in. That's why they can't back out, because this is what they were, and they didn't. I really firmly believe they did not expect all of us to show up to outvote him.
Correct. Yep.
That's
Yeah. Oh
where it
no.
went wrong. They didn't
Definitely.
plan for that.
Especially in Georgia.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Woo! So, but the thing is about most people that go into politics or that are wanting to be leaders, and once they become leaders, they start out most of the time being really good people, and then they find out that they can push the envelope and push the envelope and push the envelope. I mean, Trump started out bad. He was corrupt to
Oh,
begin
well,
with.
yeah.
But some of those other people, maybe not so much, but now they're in it, and I think they're
Hey,
running for their
Shannon.
lives. Yeah, yeah.
That's my fiance.
Oh, I didn't see her. Did she walk
Oh,
by?
I know she didn't say anything. She just popped up on the screen.
Oh, okay. I missed it. Sorry. Hello, fiance. I hope your mom's doing okay.
She is. She's doing good. They've got her moved to a long-term facility, and
Oh,
they've
good.
started weaning her off the ventilator stuff. So
Good.
yeah,
Good.
she's. I mean,
Lots
it's
of prayer.
it's still a
Yeah.
sometimes a two steps forward, one step back situation,
Yeah.
but she's doing much better.
Good.
The thing we're sorting out right now is we don't think that she knows when it is,
Oh, I'm sure she
because
doesn't. If she's been on
she went
ventilator.
into the she went into the ICU December the 28th,
Oh, wow.
and yeah, and she was basically in a medically induced coma for a month.
Sure.
So, but she's well enough now where she's watching TV and talking to the nurses. So
And
we're
she
real
knows.
pleased about that. But we're like, can you keep her off the channels where it might tell her what day it is? Because we don't know how she's going to react to
Yeah.
how
Well,
long she's been sort of out of it.
all she has to do is find out there's a President Biden, and she's going to know.
Well, we keep I think they've got her on her Law and Order channel, so we'll let
Okay.
her watch Law and Order for a while
There you go. There you go.
before we get.
That's funny.
But yeah, no, I'm very pleased, and I'm so
Good.
proud of how she's handling it, because she's an only child, and this is her first time having to parent her
Yep.
parents, and
Yep.
so I've just been so proud of how she's handling it, and she's doing really good with it. But she's
I'm
over at
glad
her
she's.
mom's house with her mom's dog. That's where
Oh,
she's
okay.
been staying. So,
All right.
but
All
yeah,
right.
so.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like I said, we just have to, at this point in time, I think, be patient, have the faith,
Right.
let that part of it go, and we have things that we can focus on. We can focus on each other. And
Yes.
I think this is our opportunity to do that, to really come together and start laying the foundation for what we want our future to look like.
Well,
And
everybody always says, "Oh, I'd do this if I had time. I'd do that if I had the time." They say that all
yeah,
the time.
we
Well,
have
we have
time
time.
now.
Yeah. So
Well, and I
what's the
think that,
problem?
and I think that Mother Nature has something to do with that.
It does.
I don't
Yeah.
think it's any coincidence whatsoever that's aside from the climate change factor. I think there's a lot of this is Mother Nature saying, "I told y'all
I
to
told you now.
sit down
Not
and
you're
stay
told.
home." So,
That was the only time the Texas governor told his people to stay home. I thought that was interesting because he wouldn't do it for
mhm,
COVID, but he did it for the
mhm,
weather. But
yeah, but I don't think it's an accident.
no, it isn't.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
And
So
this is the time when we are supposed to rally together, build what we want to build,
right,
and
and be
start going
ready.
in the direction, yeah, and be ready. And
Hmm.
like Susan Lynn's been saying, those of us who are on this forefront of it, this is our time to be prepared to help those that come behind us, and we
Right.
are. And I grew up in that mindset. I watched the 700 Club with my mother all the time
Oh,
when I
you
was a
poor
kid.
thing.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
and she was the type that when Pat Robertson decided that the gays were the reason for all the weather problems and that Disney World had gay day, then
Yeah.
she canceled our Disney Channel because
Oh
of
my
it.
God.
So, so I understand where these folks are coming from.
Right. Right. Right.
And you
That,
do. You have to be prepared to say, yeah, you didn't have it right, but that's okay.
well, I think a lot of it is self empowerment, too, Renee. I think people don't realize that in order for them to, they have to think for themselves. They don't need to be, people, we don't need to be told
Yeah,
what to do, you know?
and that's been my issue with religion as a. I got nothing. Keith was talking about not knowing, but I was an art student at one point in time, and part of that, of course,
Ooh,
is you have to do art history. Well, art
right.
history gets you into all kinds, and into all the rest of the histories. They go
True.
hand in hand. They go
Yep.
hand in hand with just socio-political history, but religious history as well.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and then when I got into college, they said, "Well, you have to take science." I'm like, I don't want to take science. So what's the least sciencey class that you
Right.
have that counts as science? And they put me in this class that the first semester was um, Carl Sagan's Cosmos, which
Oh,
love Carl. I just that man
Yeah.
though, whoo, he could put you
Now
to sleep.
you're talking.
Yeah, I mean, listening to Carl Sagan, he put me to sleep. Reading him, fascinating.
yeah. Yeah. I understand.
but
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, no. And then the second semester was essentially the history of astronomy.
Mhm.
And that was so much more interesting to me than the actual astronomy part of it.
Right. Right.
But yeah, I mean, so I see the historical precedents going on, and between the religion and the education before us by the people who want to direct the narrative for us, we've lost all that. We Nobody knows any of that. Nobody pays any
No,
attention to
they
those
don't.
things.
Yep.
And
Yep.
that's where I think we've gotten lost. And that's
We have.
where the big picture comes in as
It does. Yep.
well on that side. This has all happened before, but this is our time now with the change in whatever it is, the cosmos,
Yep.
for us
We're
to
supposed to go into a renaissance again, and if we do,
mhm,
then the arts will flourish and people will
mhm.
learn more. And
Yeah.
yeah, we really,
Well, yeah,
hopefully,
and
that
I
will
think
happen.
that they should, because
Yeah,
it doesn't it's not about the art that's created, it's about the process of creating it.
that's right. That's right.
So
So,
I for a while too went I worked for a friend of mine who owns one of those paint your own pottery studios.
yeah,
And of course, you got all kinds of folks coming in there, and the range of I don't know anything about. I can't draw. I can't do. It's like, are you having fun? Well,
yeah,
yeah.
that's
That's
what
all you got
matters.
to do. It's gonna
That's
be
all you got to
beautiful
do.
because you had fun doing it.
That's right. That's right. I was very thrilled that Amanda Gorman did a poem at the Super Bowl. I'm not a Super Bowl or an athlete person, but a couple of years ago I said, I wish we had something like a literature bowl. And isn't it funny that there it is? Yeah. So that was really nice. And it was something unexpected. It really was. And
Yeah, she did. She kind of came out of nowhere for us,
she
and I
did.
think it's
Yeah. Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. So there is something I want to bring up, and that is, if you're a patient person, and I'm not a patient, I haven't been a patient person all my life. I am more patient than I used to be, and he can attest to that because I was awfully impatient. But anyway, I think not driving helps. But anyway, there's a lot of people that want patience and they pray for patience, so they try to manifest patience. Oh yes, Marvita, thank you. I bet I did manifest it. I let it go and it came. But anyway, um, if you're trying to get patience, don't ask for patience. And the
Hmm.
reason is because God will give
You're
it to you.
gonna get it.
That's right. God will say, "Oh, you're patient? Okay, we're going to make you wait." What you want to ask for is freedom from fear. That's what you ask for.
Yeah, and trust, I've learned the lesson about asking or putting those thoughts out into the universe, because I used to often think, well, shoot, I would love to live the life of a cat. And, I kind of do now. But I wouldn't recommend the path that I took to get here at
Okay,
all.
so do you lick your paws? Are you licking
No,
your
no,
paws?
no. But I kind of
I know.
I get up and do on my own schedule, and
Yep.
lays around
Yep.
if I feel like it. Yeah, I don't have any
Yep.
particular routine at the moment.
Yep. Yep.
But
But yeah, I believe that. But I've always wanted to work from home completely. I said I was working from home in the past, just a little bit, and then I'd work at the college. So I manifested working at home completely. And I'm okay with it. I just don't care for the way the internet doesn't work or other glitches in technology. That's all. Yeah.
yeah, and these things, now that we have actual people who want to talk about those that word that everybody just gets all antsy about, infrastructure.
I know.
Now that we have
I
people who
know.
are focused on that, I think that these things will resolve themselves in short
They will.
order. But
Yep. Yep.
I've been saying for a decade that I just don't understand why America has not gotten into this fast rail system.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How,
Because it costs too
why
much
not?
money.
They seem awesome.
I know.
Well, they cost too
Yeah.
much money because the guys who sell the fuel and the oil and the
It's
all
money.
that stuff, they're the
Right.
ones that control it. I mean, that's what happened with the with hemp and cannabis. Hemp in
Yep.
particular, the logging industry shut that down way back
Mm.
when, because they didn't.
Uh-huh.
That was the whole what was that propaganda thing called? Uh, oh shoot, I can't think of the movie they did on it. Reefer
Oh,
Madness, that was
the
it.
50s? Back in the
Yeah,
50s? That, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where the whole reefer madness stuff
Oh,
came from, because the
okay.
logging industry said, well, no, you can't have hemp. I don't care how renewable it is. It's going to cut into our pockets and our profits. So, like
Yeah.
I said, the capitalists get together and make the rules to suit themselves, and
Hmm.
perfectly legitimate industries
Yep.
get
Get
just
booted.
trampled. Yeah,
Yeah.
trampled. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, they were saying that if they had taken the money for the wall and built an infrastructure in Texas, a lot of things would have been different. They
Yep.
need, yeah. They, but they're not going to listen there because it's so run by the Republicans in Texas that I don't know. First of all, they said last week that they wanted to secede again, I believe, or something like that. They didn't want to,
Let them go.
and then a week later they were asking for money for help to be bailed out. So I
Well,
would love to help
fortunately,
Texas, you know, but
and lucky for them that there's a president in the office now who has
who will do?
compassion
I know.
and who isn't going to play games with people's lives to suit his own
Yep,
whatever, his own ego.
I know. How true.
So, because believe me, my first thought when all that went down was, okay, y'all wanted to leave? Toodles, fix it yourself.
That's what they
Bye.
said to us all the time when we weren't happy with things. That why if you don't like it
Exactly.
here, why don't you leave? Yeah, I know.
But then, we can't do that because our friends, like Susan Lynn,
Yes,
we
I
have
know.
people we love there. It's not
Love
their
them there.
fault.
I know.
Eh,
No, I do, and
and the
I'm
same.
not knocking anybody that lives there. But
Oh, no,
it's
no,
not their fault.
absolutely not.
No.
But, unless you go there on purpose to do something, and that's a whole different story. But,
Oh, you mean
but
like the babies, like putting the babies in cages and yeah. We won't go there though.
well,
We won't go there.
yeah, let's not, because that's
Okay.
just.
So what would you recommend? I know you've recommended that people just take a sit back and allow the big picture to unfold no matter how long it takes. I had to do that with COVID. I had to say,
Mhm.
instead of saying, when are we going to be done with this? I had to say, This may last a decade. That's what somebody said that. And I thought,
Oh,
if I
I
don't,
fully believe it.
well, it could.
Until,
The effects
because I
could.
think that until, and I think this goes back to Mother Nature saying, if y'all don't friggin' listen,
We're going to
because
bring you some shit. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and while we still have these Republican governments who are going in behind and reversing mask mandates and blah blah blah, this is
Yeah.
not going to end. This is not going to end until enough people get us to that tipping point
Oh, shit.
to where we get to the other side of it and say, oh yeah, it is about our fellow human beings just as much
Uh-huh.
as it is about us.
Right.
We're not there yet.
I
I
know.
don't see us getting there at
Well,
least for another
it's,
year.
yeah. I,
And I think a
I
lot
think,
of it, again, um, we have to be patient. We have to wait for everything to unfold because more and more people are going to fall off that particular cult wagon
yeah.
as more and more comes out. Especially, I think, with stuff like the E. Jean Carroll
Right.
and those things. Where
Right.
some, when at some point in time, Mr. J.E. and Mr. G.M. are going to come into the picture, and the that's another thing too. We are not prepared yet to face
Learn the truth.
everything that's there. This is so much larger than just the
Then,
United
oh, yeah.
States.
It is.
This is
Yeah.
a deep, deep, ugly global thing that's been going on forever.
Right.
And again, it's gone. This, and it's not like just taking out the trash. This is more like excising a tumor that's wrapped around the spine of the world. It has to be done carefully and cut exactly,
Right.
and piece by piece come out, because most people are not prepared for how deep and ugly this is really going to turn out to be. And even then, we're still not going to know all of it
No, we won't.
ever.
Yeah. Although
But
Biden just,
until those type things come out, there's a lot of people who are going to stay stuck.
hmm you're right.
She's impatient and spoiled.
I love her comments, Shannon. That's great.
Yeah, I'm definitely the more patient one in that relationship.
There has to be one that talks you off the cliff.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and when things start coming out that involve children,
hmm
that's going to be a major turning point,
It is.
um, for a lot of people when they realize that all this stuff and that's the thing about these conspiracy theories, the wackadoo ones. At
Uh-huh.
this point in time, there's enough truth littered in. I mean, that's what they do. They lie, 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 so that by the time you start telling the truth, no, everybody's like, oh, well, they're just lying some more.
Yeah.
So
It's hard to know
there's
who is and
there's
who isn't. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's truth bases in a lot
Right.
of this stuff that's going on. We don't want to believe, don't want to face up to, and it's just it's gonna be a lot for a lot of people to swallow.
I think you're right. Wow. Well, thanks. And yes, you're right. It makes you think and not take things for granted. So I'm going to say to everybody, try to see if you can have freedom from fear and work on your own patience without using the word.
Well,
And
yeah, and I think for me, patience is just doing what you need to do,
and letting
you
go.
know, and then
Yeah.
right, and then let it go. Like I said,
Yeah.
patience is faith. If you
Yeah.
want,
It
if you
is.
can't think of it as if you can't think of it as patience, think of it as having faith.
Okay. I
Faith
think that's a
that
great idea.
yeah, faith that the universe is going to do what is best for us all,
Right.
and trust in that divine timing. Don't just talk it
Absolutely.
up, but
Yep.
trust in it. Have some
Absolutely.
legitimate faith in it.
I
And then you
think
don't have to worry about patience.
the Buddhist philosophy of no expectation
Hmm.
and allowing and just letting things unfold
In the right time.
how
Yeah.
it needs to unfold.
Yep. Sharon, you go
I
ahead and go,
agree.
honey. We're almost done here anyway. We don't like to stay on too long because people get tired. So, but
Oh, I'm sorry to
I
hear
think it
about her
was a,
kitty cat.
oh, I'm sorry about your cat. I'm going to send lots of love. So let's do this again, Renee. This was fabulous. And I
Anytime
come
you
Absolutely.
back
want.
and yeah, anytime you want is we can set it up and we want to know more about the website when it comes up or anything
Yeah,
else you
give me a
feel like
couple
talking
more
about.
weeks, and
Okay?
I'm gonna do like a little bit of a press tour. Come talk to you
Oh,
guys,
wonderful.
and
Okay. Good.
Andrea and
Uh-huh.
Sheila over at Celtic Tarot. Probably Debbie. I haven't talked to her yet, but I bet she'll say yes.
Okay.
So
Great.
yeah, I got some folks already lined up to come talk with once I get it up and going.
Good.
Because I am going to need everybody's help to spread the word. It's sort of my
Absolutely.
version of I don't know if anybody. I grew up with the Muppets, of course. Muppets Take Manhattan's one of my favorites, and they did that whisper campaign.
Okay.
So it's just kind of like my whisper campaign meets the Field of Dreams. If you build it,
There
they
you
will
go.
come.
That, and I just heard that message 3 times this morning. You're the third one that said it. And I
Oh
think
yeah.
that's exactly what we all, yep, if you build it, they will come. And it just takes patience and
Hmm.
time. So
That's right.
thank you, Renee. Thank you.
Thank you
And
guys. I appreciate
forget
it.
you guys, stay warm there, please.
We will. Bye
All
bye.
right. Bye bye, everybody.